And at that thickness, those ends are just going to curl up a little bit. If it's not cut to a little bit over an inch thick, it's just going to curl. That's what the muscle is going to do. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what we call our split strip. I'm going to split it right down the middle. And there's two reasons why we do this. 3 or 4 reasons, but the cost of beef is one. And what I'm going to do is trim it down like I'm almost cutting a roast. We did bring one of our local Angus producers. He's right here from the ranch in New Hampshire that raises Angus cattle, so he can verify everything I'm saying. That's what I work for. Certified Angus Beef. We work for the American Angus Association, so it's kind of how it operates. But there's 2 things I'm going to do with this. First, I'm going to make a roast. I'm going to take this silver off the side. And I love this as a roast because if you're doing a carving station and you do a lot of fillets, this is going to cost you about half the price of a fillet, but it's going to eat really good. For one, we know that strip has better marbling than a tenderloin, and we know that a high quality beef, a high marbled like a CAB, it's going to be very tender.
That I do know.
You know that. Well, I know that because we just sold 865 million pounds last year, so another year of growth in a tough economy. So we do know the beef market hit, you probably know if you're on the operations side, record highs twice this year. But the reason we tie this roast is because what we did when we split the strip, what did we do? We exposed the muscle, right? So we have to kind of restore that protection for a high temperature roast. So we can roast this off at 400 degrees. What we did is we just strengthened that muscle to protect it for roasting. So if you saw me lift it up, now look at it, it's like once it's firmed up a lot just from tying it. If I pick this up, you can see how soft it is. This, not so much, it's a lot firmer. This is what I like. You can either do this a roast for a carving station, or if you're doing a smaller roast or a smaller party, you can do it just like that, 40 minutes, 400. But this is what I tell people. I square this off a little bit. This is what my wife eats all the time. Because she's that Mrs. Consumer we're all trying to get in the restaurant. Cut 1.25 inches thick into the 8-ounce to 10-ounce size category. You're going to have a high-quality steak at a pretty good value compared to a filet mignon. The filet mark, it's going to be twice as much as this. Portion down, that eats great. Mrs. Consumer is going to eat just a few. It's going to eat the whole thing. She's not going to order a full-cut steak anymore and eat the whole thing. You and I might. The guys might. We do it all the time. But we cut one that thick, you know, you're at the 16-ounce size almost. So, which another thing is the price point. Price point's going to be higher. So you're going to be into the $30.
Is it sometimes called a Boston Club?
There's different names for it. Guys call it, you know, fillet strip. That's what I'm hearing a lot of guys call it, a fillet strip. I cooked this roast last week in Nashville for all the grocers in the United States, all the big chains, the Stop and Shops, the Kroger's, and everybody. And I had a little sign on the table, flip down, because I don't like to tell them what they're eating, because I'm a jerk like that. And they go, and I'm slicing it after it's cooked, and I'm giving it to them, and they're going, that's one of the best tenderloins I've ever had. No. Oh, wait a second, let me pick up the sign, just because it really isn't. But that marbling gives you that flavor. A little salt and pepper on there, that's a home run. This is all I eat now. I take these, I cook them. Because it has flavor. Yeah. Inherently, the marbling, we know, produces flavor. So this just gives you at a price point for your menu that's going to be a little bit more attractive. And smaller portion size. And you know what? If you buy a whole strip and cut yourself at your market or your restaurant, you can cut a few fulls, cut the back half. You can get both out of it. You know what I mean? You can do a few full cut steaks and then take the back half and do the same thing with that. And then just continue to cut these. And as a steak, you don't necessarily have to tie them. You know what I mean? But if you're going to roast it, I suggest that, you roast it. I don't do anything with the vein end, but even that part of the vein end, it's a little bit on there. But it's really good. just another option to do.
Yeah,
And we know the beef market's at record highs, and it's not going anywhere for 2 years. So you can take that brochure right there.